and justly. If you become a public servant, remember that leadership is stewardship, not personal entitlement. If you become an employee, work diligently and honorably. Whatever vocation we pursue, let us pursue it with excellency, integrity, humility, and servant leadership. Fellow graduates, as we leave Scott Christian University, may we carry more than academic knowledge. May we carry integrity. May we carry character. May we carry courage. May we carry humility and wisdom. And most importantly, may we carry a commitment to serve. Our graduation is not the conclusion of our story. It is the beginning of a new responsibility. Let us go into the world determined to make a difference. Let us use what we have learned to build rather than destroy. Unite rather than divide. Serve rather than merely be served. And bring hope where we are sent. Our degrees are not merely certificates to hang on our wall. They are opportunities to serve God, humanity, our communities, and our nation. And as we celebrate today, let us remember once again the words of 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 12. Thus far, the Lord has helped us. Ebenezer. If God has helped us this far, we can confidently trust him with what lies ahead. Class of 2026, we came to Scott Christian University within dreams. Today, we live with qualifications and knowledge. But more importantly, we live with character, integrity, faith, and commitment to servant leadership. The world is waiting for what we will do with what we have learned. May we honor those who invested in us, serve those around us, and above all, live in a way that honors the God who brought us this far. Congratulations, class of 2026. May God bless Kenya. May God bless Christian University. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Augustine. Allow me at this time to give our guest choirs. We have two guest choirs. We have Scott Evangelistic Choir. They will give us a one number, a song. As I speak, we should be coming because I know we majority are graduates. Scott Evangelistic Choir, move fast. Don't just look for your colleague, just come forward. Then after that, I would ask the Bereans also to be ready. Immediately after Scott Evangelistic Choir, the Bereans be ready. And I know Ms. Inzo Reverend, you are in charge of the two choirs. I would ask that to move faster. In the meantime, I'm asking the graduates kindly, let your parents and guardians be led by our ushering team. Please remain seated.
Nitaleta za kubwa katika nchi na sio njaa ya kukosa chakula wala sikio ya kukosa maji bali ya kukosa kulisikia neno wala sikio ya kukosa maji bali ya kukosa kulisikia neno na watatanga tanga toka bahari hata bahari nakwambia kaskazini hata upande mashariki, kulitafuta neno la Bwana silione. Nao watatanga tanga 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 tanga, toka bahari hata bahari, nakwambia, toka kaskazini hata upande mashariki, kulitafuta neno la Bwana silione.
Watu wengi watahangaika, wapate wapi neno la uzima? Wakati huo kanisa la Mungu litakuwa limenyakuliwa. Wahubiri hao wa Injili watakuwa wamenyakuliwa. Pinga Kristo ndipo tatokea, watu wataokoka kwa upanga. Okoka leo wakati bado anapatikana, okoka leo ndugu, okoka leo upone. Okoka leo wakati bado anapatikana, okoka leo ndugu, okoka leo upone.
Thank you. Let us appreciate them once again. The Bereans. The Bereans.
Amekufa alimbadilishia yule baada ya kuona mwanae amekufa alimbadilishia yule alichukua yule alimbadilishia yule aliyekufa alichukua yule alimbadilishia yule aliyekufa. Chako ni chako, chako ni chako, hakuna wa kukunyang'anya, hakuna wa kukupokonya. Yule mwingine akakuta mwana aliyekufa sio wake. Alipokuja kuamka yule mwingine akakuta mwana aliyekufa sio wake. Akamwambia naomba mwanangu nipatie, huyu si wa kwangu ni wa kwako. Akamwambia naomba mwanangu nipatie, huyu si wa kwangu ni wa kwako. Kila mtu anasema mtoto huyu ni wa kwangu. Kesi hiyo ikaenda hadi kwa Mfalme Sulemani. Alitokea mabishano, kila mtu anasema mtoto huyu ni wa kwangu.
Mfalme Sulemani aliwauliza, huyu mtoto ni wa nani? Na wauliza. Mfalme Sulemani aliwauliza, huyu mtoto ni wa nani? Na wauliza. Kila mtu alisema mtoto huyu ni wa kwangu. Kila mtu alisema mtoto huyu ni wa kwangu.
Kipande kimoja, mfalme akaamuru hayo. Mama mtoto kasema mtoto wake asikatwe, patieni huyu mwenzangu. Ndipo mfalme akaagiza huo upanga, mtoto akatwe katikati. Kila mmoja apewe kipande kimoja, mfalme akaamuru hayo. Mama mtoto kasema mtoto wake asikatwe, patieni huyu mwenzangu.
Ule mwingine alisema mtoto akatwe katikati, tugawane kipande kimoja kimoja. Ule mwingine alisema mtoto akatwe katikati, tugawane kipande kimoja kimoja. Hapo mfalme akagundua mtoto ni wa nani, apewe aliyesema asikatwe. Hapo mfalme akagundua mtoto ni wa nani, apewe aliyesema asikatwe. Chako ni chako, chako ni chako, hakuna wa kukunyang'anya, hakuna wa kukupokonya.
Chako ni chako tu, hata kama kimebiwa siku moja kitarudi. Amini usiamini, ndugu, chako ni chako tu, hata kama kimebiwa siku moja kitarudi. Yule mama mwenye mtoto alirudishiwa mwanae mikononi mwake. Yule mama mwenye mtoto alirudishiwa mwanae mikononi mwake. Amini usiamini, ndugu, chako ni chako tu, hata kama kimebiwa siku moja kitarudi. Amini usiamini, ndugu, chako ni chako tu, hata kama kimebiwa siku moja kitarudi.
Tuwashangilie Thank you, Bereans. Thank you, Bereans. Tafadhali, cameraman, in our sihi. Let us agree to be led, to be guided by the security people. Tafadhalini, in our sihi. So that the function succeeds the war. So whatever designations you are not supposed to cross, kindly let us adhere to that. At this moment, it is a good time that the Lord has given us to listen to his word. And for that reason, I welcome the Vice Chancellor, Reverend Professor Jonathan Mwania, to welcome the speaker of today. Karibu. I think, welcome, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity. Our chief guest and all the distinguished guests. Today, we are blessed to have a man of God who is going to speak to us. In fact, I count it as a privilege and an honor to introduce to us this man of God by the name Reverend Dr. Bishop Stephen Mairoli, AIC Diaspora Church. This is a man of God I have known since our college time. It's a man who have demonstrated that character of a true man of God. And therefore, church, I would like to request that we put our hands together as we welcome the man of God to the podium. Welcome, Bishop.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chancellor. So our chief guest, CS Interior and National Administration, Kipchumba Murkomen. CS, we are so happy to have you. We indeed want to thank God for you. You are AIC, but you've also done great in serving this church, and we want to say thank you. Our PS, Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, our presiding Bishop Emeritus, Bishop Silas Yego, bishops present, the Chancellor, Professor Kibor, the Vice Chancellor, the University Board of Trustees, Council members, Management and Senate, distinguished faculty members and invited guests, proud parents and guardians, and most importantly, today, the graduating class of 2026. I'm deeply honored to stand before you today at Scott Christian University, an institution with a profound legacy of shaping leaders grounded in faith and purpose. To you, graduates, I say, this is not merely the end of academic journey, but the beginning of a sacred commissioning. The theme of this ceremony, empowering graduates for national transformation, innovation, skills, and integrity, resonates with exceptional urgency and speaks directly to our national heart and its future. We celebrate your achievement. Congratulations. Graduates, would you turn to your neighbor and say congratulations? Thank you very much. Today, we will get our reflection from the book of Genesis, chapter 41, or the entire chapter of Genesis 41. And in this passage of scripture, we are introduced to a young man who moved from prison to palace. Pharaoh needed someone who could interpret a difficult dream. But Joseph demonstrated something greater than interpretation. He possessed wisdom, practical skills, innovative thinking, and integrity. You see, behind Joseph was God. Earlier, when he was introduced to Pharaoh, Pharaoh actually asked, after he had been told, this is a gentleman who interpreted a dream for the other two people, he asked the question, can we find a man whose Spirit of God lives in, whom the Spirit of God lives in, like you? So, graduates, soon to be graduates, I want to say, you are the game changers of this world. You have God with you. The same God who was with Joseph is ready and available for you. Yours is to submit yourself to him. But let's look at the life of Joseph as we learn a few things here. Joseph teaches us that God can use educated, skilled, principled people to transform nations. God has not given you education merely for personal achievement. He has equipped you to become an instrument of transformation. These are the 4 reflections I want to leave with you. The first one is innovate. Innovate. See opportunities where others see problems. You see, how we see the world around us determines how far we can go. 2 people can be looking at the same piece of land and have very different perspectives about that piece of property. One says the land is dry and useless. The other says the land needs irrigation. The difference is not necessarily the land, it is the way they see it. Joseph looked at a crisis and saw an opportunity to prepare. In Genesis 41:28 through 32, Pharaoh's dream revealed that Egypt would experience 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Joseph did not simply interpret the dream, he proposed a solution. And this is what he said in verses 33. Let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man and put him in charge of the land of Egypt. But you see, because the Pharaoh had known who Joseph was, he was definitely told, you are the man. Joseph moved from diagnosis to solution. The world does not need people who can identify problems. The problems are already so many. It needs people who can solve problems. Our nation faces challenges in unemployment, food security, technology, health, education, climate change, corruption, poverty, infrastructure, business, and entrepreneurship. My work as chair of the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, CADA, has shown me another major challenge in our nation, one that is devastating the lives of our young population. If not addressed, it will seriously affect our human resource. That is in a negative way. This is the abuse of drugs and alcohol. Recent findings reveal that nearly 50% of university students in Kenya, and when I say university students, I mean both private and government universities, have used at least one drug or substance in their lifetime. Substance abuse is not just a health issue. It is a barrier to national transformation. We live in a land where we have many opportunities to make a difference. When I finished my master's degree in the US, I had an opportunity to remain. But I asked myself the question, where do I have the opportunity to make a difference? And it was very easy to make that decision. It was back home, and that is why I chose to come back. Graduates should ask this question. What problem can I solve? Instead of saying there are no opportunities, ask, What opportunity is hidden in this problem? Graduates don't merely look for jobs, look for problems that need solutions. Joseph was such a person. Number 2, develop. Develop. Keep growing your skills. In Genesis 41:38 through 40, Pharaoh recognized something remarkable in Joseph. And this is what he said. Since God has made all these things known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. Joseph had spiritual understanding, but he also had administrative ability. He knew how to organize, plan, store, manage, and distribute resources. Education must become practical. A certificate is valuable, but a certificate alone does not transform a nation. Knowledge must become skill, and skill must become service. Graduates should continually develop in communication skills, in leadership skills, in technological skills, financial skills, problem solving, entrepreneurship, teamwork, emotional intelligence, research, and analytical abilities. The graduation ceremony may mark the completion of one level of education, but learning should never graduate. I had a privilege over the weekend to spend some time with a CEO of one of our very good parastatals, and he really inspired me. He told me, Bishop, you see, my degree was in electrical engineering. And we shared some things there a little bit because I was in a technical school those years, so I did electrical engineering. And then he said, I got my PhD in it. But then later I realized I need leadership if I have to provide leadership. So he did, an MBA. And then later he decided, this world has a lot of challenges. I need to get a law degree. Now he's a lawyer. And he was telling me I haven't stopped there. I'm going further. I'm sharpening my skills. You see, a person, don't be like this person who was given an axe and told to go and cut down trees. After several hours, he complained that he was becoming tired and accomplishing little. Someone asked, have you sharpened your axe? He replied, I'm too busy cutting trees to sharpen it. Sometimes we become so busy working that we stop improving ourselves. Keep sharpening your skills. Scott has given you the basic foundation. Grow yourself by sharpening your skills. Number 3, integrate. Integrate. Integrate your faith, values, knowledge, and skills into everyday life. Let character guide competence. I recently met a guy who is an architect, and he told me upon graduating from university, he was stomaching, and then somebody introduced him to a very wealthy man who had several companies. And the man was struggling. He needed a certain type of drawing, and he had brought other architects, and they were not able to do that. So the man who introduced him told him, I think he can do a good job. So he was given the assignment. When he presented, that was what that person wanted. So he said, excellent, you've gotten the job. So the wealthy man organized, got a company from outside the country to come and do the building of what he wanted. It was special to him. So when the quotation was given, the amount that other company from outside was so high. So he decided, let me call my architect to come and look at this so that they can discuss. So the architect came. He said, when I came, he just told me, these guys have given me this. And I think you had mentioned a figure that was way lower. Now, you all sit here. He called the guys. He said, you sit in this room, agree, and then whatever you sign off, you will bring it to me and I will not ask any question. You have the power as the architect. So the guy said, I sat in that boardroom with these foreigners who had been given the job to build. And they had, those years, had given a figure of 160 million. While for him, in his estimation, it was 80 million. So he told them, I have looked, can we bridge? And the guy said, no, we are stuck in 160. He said, please, this and this. So they did their things because they know. The guys told him, we know you know, and what you have given us may be true, but see, we have come a long way, we have to make money. And so they told him, we'll give you 10 million, just approve it, because the other guy is waiting for it. And he said, I told them no. They added 20 million. He said no. They added another one, 30 million. He said, I can't do it. Finally, I think they reached up to 50, then they realized they will not make any ends. They can't convince them. When they finished the story, I told them, we can't agree, let's go back to the owner. Unknown to them, the owner was actually viewing everything. They were on camera. And he was hearing the whole story. So he just received the papers and told the other guys, you go. And then he told the architect to remain. He was a young man. And he was telling me the temptation to take the money was so high. Because I've just finished university. And I needed 10 million would change my world. By then, 20 million would make a very big difference. But he said, because I knew God, and I know I have a testimony to keep, I said I will do the right thing. Praise the Lord. So he chose to be a man of integrity. He chose to say, let my faith rhyme or match with my words, in other words. So, long story short, the owner told him, I have seen that you are a very faithful man. You will be my architect. And I'll give you many more work. You don't have to explain anything. I've seen all that happened. And that changed his life up to now. Skills will open doors for you graduates. But you need character to keep you. Joseph's story is especially powerful because he had opportunity to compromise, yet he remained faithful. In chapter 41, 39 through 40 shows Pharaoh's entrusting enormous responsibility to Joseph. This is because Joseph had demonstrated that he could be trusted. Success without integrity is dangerous. As graduates, you may have intelligence, but without, or any graduate with intelligence without character, skills without ethics, ambition without integrity, influence without responsibility is dangerous, because that success can destroy you rather than transform society. Joseph teaches us that character determines how you can use your competence. Now, the last one I would like to share with you is be a light in the marketplace. The scriptures that were read to us said you are the light of the world. Joseph served God not only in a religious setting, but inside government and administration. He worked in the palace, he managed resources, he managed economic decisions, he influenced national policy. This reminds us that God's people are called to serve faithfully whenever God places them. In government, in business, in education, in medicine, in engineering, technology, agriculture, in law, in finance, in media, in community leadership, and the list goes on. The workplace is the mission field. Please don't forget that. Wherever God places you, just say, this is my mission field. God has placed me here. Your Christianity should be visible not merely in church attendance, but in your honest, diligent, excellent compassion and the way you treat others. It takes one person to change a community. Transformation will happen when we take our space and take it for God. Scott, 2026 graduating class, take your space in Jesus' name. God has called you to transform this nation. God has called you to transform the world. Be a Joseph where God will send you and transform the nation. So 4 words that I shared: innovate, develop, integrate, and be a light. May God bless you indeed. Thank you.
To our chief guest, the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the PS for Higher Education, Dr. Beatrice Muganda Inyangara, the Chancellor, the Presiding Bishop of Africa Inner Church, Emeritus, Bishop Silas Diego, members of the Board of Trustees, the Chairperson and members of the Governing Council, members of the University Senate and Management, distinguished guests, members of staff, parents and guardians, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Chief guest, I kindly request that I do 2 things according to our program. And one of the things that I'm going to do is introduction of my guests. And because this is an academic exercise, I want to start with our vice chancellors from other universities. And I kindly request that if you are a vice chancellor or representing your vice chancellor, please be upstanding. We want to recognize you. Kindly. Our chief guest, these are some of our colleagues, and since they are not many, I request that at least they just introduce themselves. Just mention your name. Kindly give them the mic. We really feel honored to have you here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Reverend Mutinda Musimi, representing the Vice Chancellor, Daystar University, Professor Laban Peter Ayiro. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My name is Dr. Halima Abdullahi, Vice Chancellor, Uma University, Kajiado.
My name is Dr. Lawrence Murira, representing Reverend Professor John Ataya, Kenya Methodist University.
My name is Dr. Samuel Thionga Mungai, representing Professor John Chelugate, Management University of Africa.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Stephen Munguti from Machakos University. I am representing my VC, Machakos University, and we are proud to be neighbors to this great university. You are doing a great job. Thank you so much.
Last but not the least.
Thank you so much. Momo Wakisau, Africa International University, representing Reverend Dr. Nelson Makanda, the Vice Chancellor, who is out on duty. Thank you.
That is a former VC of Scott Christian University. So I also want to introduce principals of AIC Bible colleges Bible colleges, principals, please, if you're here. Yeah, thank you, thank you. These are some of our Bible school, Bible colleges principals, and we are happy that you are here. God bless you. I also want to introduce a special guest who has traveled all the way from UK, Professor Lucas Njenga. There he is. Thank you for coming to grace our occasion. Your presence means a lot to us. Thank you. And now, sir, I want to also introduce or recognize church leaders, AIC church leaders. They are AIC is the sponsor of Scott Christian University, and it's important that we recognize our bishops and our pastors, and I'm sure we have many of them seated here. Kindly rise up. We want to recognize your presence. Thank you, thank you. On behalf of our, on behalf of our church leaders here, I request the deputy bishop for Machakos to say hi to us. Thank you, may be seated.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Nashukuru Mungu kwa nafasi ya leo na kuwa na waziri wetu, kiongozi wetu, lakini pia wanao graduate leo, tunaombea baraka. Mungu awabariki.
Thank you so much. We also invited business community and corporates, banks, and you know, and our suppliers. Please, we want to recognize your presence. If you are representing an institution, please be upstanding. We are so proud of you. Thank you, thank you. Can we applause them? We also have Scott Christian University alumni. Alumni, please be upstanding wherever you are, kindly. If you are an alumni of Scott Christian University. And I am also standing. Yeah. We have the oldest here. He will have his time to say it to us. Let me kindly request the nearest alumni just to say hi to the congregation quickly, and that is Reverend Kangeti. He's our neighboring church here and a friend of Scott Christian University.
To our guest of honor, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, our education CS there, secretary, our PS, we want to appreciate our bishops. We want to appreciate this time that we are together. Let me salute you in Jesus' name. How are you?
We are fine.
God bless you so much.
Thank you so much. I also take this opportunity to introduce the Scott community, both teaching staff and non-teaching staff. Please stand. Scott family. Yeah, we can clap for them. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Be seated, please. Sir, I want now to go to the second item, and this is the thesis speech, which I want to read to take you through. And sir, I want to first say thank you so much for finding time to come and be with us today to grace this special occasion. It gives me immense pleasure and a profound gratitude to welcome you all to the 61st graduation ceremony of Scott Christian University. This is indeed a historic and a joyous occasion as we gather to celebrate the achievements of our graduates, whose determination, resilience, and commitment have brought them to this important milestone. On behalf of the University Council, Senate, management, faculty, staff, and the entire Scott Christian University, community, I warmly congratulate each one of our graduates. Today marks the culmination of years of sacrifice, discipline, perseverance, and God's abundant grace. This year's graduation is held under the inspiring theme, Empowering Graduates for National Transformation, Innovation, Skills, and Integrity. This theme could not be more appropriate for our generation. Kenya, indeed, the world require graduates who are not merely knowledgeable, but who possess practical skills, innovative minds, ethical leadership, and unwavering integrity. Our nation needs graduates who will become solution providers, entrepreneurs, researchers, educators, ministers, public servants, and transformational leaders capable of addressing the complex challenges of our time. Today, we proudly confer degrees, diplomas, and certificates upon candidates who have successfully fulfilled the academic requirements of Scott Christian University. Among them are 12 master's graduates representing various disciplines as a clear testimony that our postgraduate education continues to grow in both quality and impact. Dear graduates, as you leave this institution, remember that your certificate is not merely an academic qualification. It is a commission to serve humanity. You have been equipped with knowledge, critical thinking, Christian values, and professional competence. Go into society as ambassadors of excellence, honesty, compassion, innovation, and servant leadership. Our world is increasingly defined by rapid technological advancement, artificial intelligence, climate change, shifting economies, and evolving social structures. These realities require graduates who are adaptable, lifelong learners, and ethical decision makers. Never stop learning. Remain humble and always allow your Christian values to guide your professional conduct. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate our graduates, we also celebrate remarkable progress that Scott Christian University has made during the past academic year. I am delighted to announce that our technical and vocational education and training, that is TVET, is now fully registered and has already admitted its first cohort of students. This milestone significantly expands our educational mandate by providing competence-based technical skills that respond directly to the need of industry and national development. Through TVET, Scott Christian University is contributing to the government's agenda of producing skilled professionals capable of driving economic transformation and creating employment opportunities. Our commitment to advanced scholarships continues to grow. I am pleased to announce that enrollment for our two newly developed Doctor of Philosophy programs will officially commence this month. That is Doctor of Philosophy in Theological Studies and Doctor of Philosophy in Leadership and Management. These programs position Scott Christian University as an important center for advanced research, leadership development, theological scholarship, and knowledge creation both nationally and internationally. Research remains one of the defining pillars of every great university. Over the past year, we have undertaken a comprehensive revitalization of our Directorate of Research and Postgraduate Studies. Our postgraduate students now enjoy improved coordination, closer supervision, enhanced academic support, and a stronger research mentorship. These improvements have significantly strengthened the quality of postgraduate training and the research output within the university. One of the highlights of this year was the successful public lecture on artificial intelligence, which attracted scholars, professionals, policymakers, students, and members of the public. The lecture stimulated important conversation on how emerging technologies can shape education, research, careers, and national development while maintaining ethical responsibility. To further strengthen our research culture, we have successfully revived the Africa Journal of Evangelical Theology, that is ANGET, and officially launched it online. This milestone provides an accessible scholarly platform through which researchers can publish high-quality peer-reviewed work, thereby enhancing knowledge, dissemination, and increasing the university's feasibility within the global academic community. Our commitment to research excellence continues to grow. I am therefore pleased to announce that on the 22nd and 23rd October 2026, Scott Christian University will host a virtual international research conference that will bring together scholars, researchers, professionals, policymakers, and practitioners from diverse disciplines and countries. We look forward to rich scholarly engagement that will generate innovative ideas capable of addressing local and global challenges. Scott Christian University remains committed to strengthening Christian education across Africa Inland Church institutions. Earlier this year, we convened a consultative meeting with the principals of all Africa Inland Church Bible colleges. The discussions were fruitful, and we collectively resolved to establish a framework for closer collaboration between the university and the colleges. This partnership will promote quality assurance, curriculum development, faculty collaboration, academic progression for students, and enhanced enrollment into university programs. Together, we are building stronger pathways for theological education and leadership development within the church. Another exciting development is the expansion of our basic education program. For the past 13 years, our kindergarten has faithfully nurtured young learners before releasing them to continue their education elsewhere. After careful reflection, we resolved that the time had come to build a complete educational pathway within the Scott family. I am therefore pleased to announce that our institution is now officially registered as Scott Talent Academy. This year, we successfully admitted our inaugural grade 1 class, marking the beginning of an exciting journey toward establishing a fully fledged academy that will progressively grow all the way to senior school. Scott Talent Academy will provide holistic education grounded in Christian values, academic excellence, innovation, creativity, and character formation. We recognize that a quality education requires more than good programs and dedicated lecturers. It requires modern classrooms, laboratories, libraries, ICT infrastructure, student facilities, staff offices, recreational facilities, and a conducive environment for teaching, learning, research, innovation, and spiritual formation. It is against this background that the University Council has made a strategic decision to embark on a major resource mobilization initiative aimed at transforming the physical infrastructure of Scott Christian University. The Council has set an ambitious target of Kenya shillings 750 million to support the modernization and development of our university. To kickstart this important initiative, the university will hold a major fundraising drive on 9th October 2026. This will be more than simply a fundraising event. It will be a defining moment in the history and the future of Scott Christian University. I therefore make a sincere appeal to our entire university community and to all our stakeholders and partners, our alumni, students, parents, staff, the Africa Inland Church, churches across Kenya and beyond, government agencies, corporate organizations, development partners, friends of the university, well-wishers, and members of the community. We invite you to join us in this historic journey. We are not merely raising money to construct buildings. We are investing in the future of generations. We are creating an environment where young men and women can acquire knowledge, develop skills, discover their God-given potential, nurture Christian character, and become leaders who will transform Kenya, Africa, and the world at large. I appeal to all of you. Let us own this vision together. Let us build together. Let us invest together. Let us leave legacy together. I sincerely thank the Chancellor, the University, the Board of Trustees, the Presiding Bishop, and the leadership of Africa Inland Church Kenya for their visionary leadership, wise counsel, and steadfast support. To our dedicated faculty and staff, thank you for your professionalism, commitment, and sacrifice in shaping the lives of our students. Your influence extends far beyond the classroom. To the parents and the guardians present today, thank you for believing in Scott Christian University and for investing in the education of your children. This graduation is as much your celebration as it is theirs. To our friends, partners, sponsors, alumni, government agencies, professional bodies, churches, and friends of university, we deeply appreciate your continued collaboration and support. Dear graduates, as you step into the next chapter of your lives, remember that success is measured not merely by wealth or position, but by the lives you transform. Carry with you the values that Scott Christian University has instilled in you. Integrity above convenience. Service above self. Excellence above mediocrity. Innovation above complacency. Faith above fear. Wherever life takes, may God grant you wisdom to innovate, courage to lead, integrity to serve, and grace to transform our nation and the world. God bless you, class of 2026. God bless Scott Christian University. God bless Kenya. Shalom. So allow me to take this opportunity now to welcome the chairman of the Governing Council, Architect Dr. Mutiso, to come forward to make his speech and also introduce the council members. Then subsequently, he will invite the BOT chair to do the same. Thank you, and God bless you.
The PS University Education, the Chancellor, the presiding Bishop of Africa Inland Church, Kenya, members of the Board of Trustees, my Governing Council members, the Vice Chancellor, members of the University Senate and management, distinguished guests, faculty, parents, guardians, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My speech is in the graduation booklet, and I don't intend to go through it word for word. But I want to say this. I want to say this because I still must speak. That it gives me great delight to come to the university at a time like this. There's a graduation. I've said before, I'm a local. I was born just around this area. And my parents, my father, Bishop Emeritus, who remember my father, was a minister of the gospel out in Machakos town, told me that when the World War ended, Second World War ended, he quickly found himself a Christian, became a Christian. And they came to Mumbuni AIC to consecrate their wedding with my mother. A few years later, I was born. And so I really belong out here in many ways. I was drawn into AIC Board of Trustees by the presiding bishop, who called me and told me he wanted me to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees. And I found it difficult to say no. I accepted. And we were serving with the chair, Dr. Mbandi out here, and others. And then the university was going through turbulence. Things were not good at all. And I'm allergic to things going bad, and I always want to get in when things are going bad. And if I can correct the situation, the better. That's what I do best. But then, little did I know that there was a plot between the clergy to push me into being chairman of a council when things were very, very bad. And I couldn't resist the temptation. I accepted. And we started working. And I want to pay special tribute to my council members for the great work that they have done. More than just being council members, coming over for meetings to discuss an agenda. My council members have actually worked, inputted so much, to the extent that we now have a strategic plan, courtesy one of our council members who is known not just locally, but within this region for drafting and crafting strategic plans. C.S. Malinda, Matthew Malinda. Please, you stand out there. Thank you for that work. Great work, Matthew. There is my vice chair, Professor Shadrach Gilman. Shadrach out here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Shadrach, together with other council members, has been instrumental in coming up with those PhD programs. Thank you very much, Shadrach. Council member, CPA, FCPA, Kiragu. Thank you very much, Kiragu, for your wisdom in keeping us within the straight and the narrow with the resources, the few resources that we have had. CPA Mwende, Joyce Mwende gave her apologies. Lincoln, assemble. Thank you very much, Lincoln, for your work. Jonah Sero, thank you very much. IG retired. Oynet, you've been wonderful. You've been wonderful. Some of the things that looked difficult at moments, you were able to pave the way. No wonder you are a policeman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Emma Karanja. Emma gave apologies, I think. Dr. Eunice Nyamaso. Thank you very much, Eunice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for good work in looking at a curriculum and dissecting the same. We have talked about, the VC talked about a grand mega drive. I will not talk about it. It's in my speech. But it is very important. If you want things to happen, money is very important. And contribution, therefore, becomes very, very important. And remember, it's not the much that you give, even that little, when aggregated, becomes quite something. My council would want to communicate this to you, those who are gathered out here, that although we found problems, we sought God's guidance. And our God moves in a mysterious way. It's a song that nearly goes that way. It's wonders to perform. It was dark. And so 2 years ago, and I'm nearly addressing this to CS Murkomen. So 2 years ago, we invited the president over. And the president came, and during a briefing session, several of us, chair, BOT, some BOT members, and AIC leadership, I was asked to do the difficult job of speaking about problems, our problems. And I started with one which PS is aware of. PS is aware that government owes the university, owes this university a lot of money, as you owe others. And I was told to jump that is a difficult subject, because it's not just ourselves who are owed money, others are owed money, and something will happen. So I jumped. And we talked about things, including having a computer room and no computers. And the following week, we got 100 computers. They were promised, we promised, and we got them. His Excellency wondered why, how come we have that road, the road to Kangundo, is tarmac, and then this other one, sub-road, coming this way is tarmac, and inside, there's no tarmac. For him, we didn't do that for you, CS. For him, we watered, we have just poured some water so that there isn't a lot of dust. But he wondered, and he promised. And I know that preliminary work has been done by way of survey and all that. I know that. He visited the VC's office, and he said some secondary schools have better offices than the Vice Chancellor's office. And he offered to do an admin block for the university. My office designed that admin block, and that the drawings and the renders were communicated to the office of the president, and Boynet has been quite instrumental in connecting that. And I know, because my architect in the office is in touch with an engineer who has been detailed to ensure that negotiations for construction work of the admin block commences. I know that that discussion is in place. I know that that is in place. That is being discussed. And my office, as we talk, is preparing what we call working drawings. Working drawings are drawings that you need if you are a contractor to know where what is to be. That is being done. It's our pleasure to do that for this university. But the president went further and supported the university's payroll personally. In the month of May, we managed to see the president as council and BOT, and we are going there to thank him. But we told him that we are still in the woods. In fact, CS, during that moment, he was looking for you. You are not available. He was looking for you. Okay? He looked for you. So from out there, we went with a request of a kind, while still reminding him about what the government owes us. And we were given good advice on how to approach Madam PS. We were given good advice on how to approach you. And we'll approach you on bended knees. And we also got additional support from AT. It would be ungrateful for me as chair of council not to mention some of these things, so that we all know that in the background, a lot of work is being done. And with what I have said, I request CS, please, to thank the president once again on our behalf, convey our greetings, and let him know that he is fondly remembered out here. So things are happening. To the graduates, when I left college like yourselves and got all my qualifications, including registration as an architect, my employer, I was a young man, my employer called me and gave me a charge. And that's a charge I'll give you. My employer told me he is not an architect. He told me, go, work, make mistakes, lots of mistakes, and learn. He told me to make mistakes and learn. Don't fear making mistakes. In making mistakes is when you know. It's when you know your strength. It's only when, unfortunately, when you break your leg, is when you know the strength of the other parts of the body, like your arm. So make mistakes. A man of old, Albert Einstein, that great physicist, when he ran away from Europe just before Second World War, because he feared, because of his ancestry, he's a Jew. He got to America and went to Princeton University in New Jersey. And they accepted him. who wouldn't accept Albert Einstein. Then he was shown his office. Empty, it was empty. He was asked what kind of furnishing he wants in his office. And he said he wants a desk or a table, a chair, some papers, foolscaps, and pencils, biro pen, and a big waste bin where he will be throwing his mistakes. You need a big bin. I know mistakes these days, because of the platforms that we are using in your computers, but even there is a bin. Learn to have a bin where you can throw your mistakes. Don't keep those mistakes. That's a charge that I'm giving you. I thank you all. God bless you. Go in peace and do what you must do. But remember, there is no end to learning. And there is a lot. Things are changing so fast that if you met a doctor who was trained, and the only stuff where he refers are the notes that he made at the School of Medicine and the vitables that he bought at the university bookshop. He doesn't read journals. He doesn't go for conferences. He doesn't check on Google and other platforms about advancement in medicine. If you met a doctor like that, they would not be a doctor. They would be a witch doctor. So, clearly, learn to learn and continue learning. I thank you very much. And with this is my singular honor to invite my boss, the chair, Board of Trustees, Reverend Dr. Mbandi, please.
Thank you. The Cabinet Secretary for Minister or Ministry of Interior and National Administration, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the PS for Education, Dr. Beatrice Muganda, and for the interest of time and all the protocols observed. Good afternoon. I know that you have my full speech in the school, the university program, and therefore I do not need to go through all that for the interest of time. Let me ask whether maybe there is a member of Board of Trustee who has just come, because I have report of many who are not able to make it today, and in particular receive greetings from Justice Grace Zioka, who is the Secretary of the Board of Trustee of Scott Christian University. She called me from US, where she has been for a while, and she told me to pass your greetings to you. Have you received them? Thank you very much. To the class of 2026, on behalf of Scott Christian University Board of Trustees, I extend my heartfelt congratulations. Your success is a testimony to your hard work, perseverance, and the faith that you have demonstrated. As you leave this institution, remember that Scott Christian University has sought not only to educate your mind, but also to shape your character and prepare you for a life of holistic service. Friends, I just want to take this opportunity to thank just all the stakeholders of Scott Christian Universities. But I want to highlight 2 or 3. Allow me to take this opportunity and again, on behalf of Africa Inland Church and the Board of Trustees, the University Councils, to thank our President in absence, His Excellence, Dr. William Samuel Ruto, for gracing our 59th graduation and greatly supporting our university in various ways, as you have heard from the chairman of the Board of Trustees. I also want to take this opportunity and thank the University Council, led by architect Ruben Mutiso, and also thank the staff of Scott Christian University, led by Professor Jonathan Imwanya and the Vice Chancellor. They are doing great job, and we thank God for them. And finally, I want to thank the sponsor of this university, AIC, led by our presiding bishop, Dr. Abraham Mulwa. When we were going through challenges, he himself came and spent days here at Scott. Praise the Lord. And through teamwork, we are where we are. And therefore, we have all reasons to thank God and thank all the stakeholders of Scott Christian University, including on graduates. And again, because of interest of time, we have agreed with the Chancellor of the university, Professor Jacob Kibor, who is also my former lecturer here at Scott Christian University, that he will make and greet you, make few remarks and greet you when he shall be presenting the decree. Bwana asifiwe sana. Therefore, for the interest of time, I want to say, I want to welcome Bishop Mairuri to come and make the remarks of our presiding bishop. Again, congratulations. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chair. The presiding bishop, because of unavoidable circumstances, could not make it, so he did ask that I bring his greetings, but also make his speech. And so, without many words, I think I'll just read the speech of the presiding bishop. To the Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Interior and National Administration, Honorable Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen, And I want to repeat, he did tell me, Waziri, though I had said mine, but his is to thank you as a faithful member of AIC, and you've done a lot to help this church. We are very grateful. And then to the members of our peers, to the members of the Board of Trustees, to the chairperson and members of the Governing Council, Senate, distinguished guests, members of staff, parents and guardians, ladies and gentlemen, receive warm greetings from Africa Inland Church. It is with joy, great joy and thanksgiving to God that I join you today for the 61st graduation ceremony of Scott Christian University. On behalf of the Africa Inland Church, the sponsoring church of this university, I congratulate the university leadership, faculty and staff for all their commitment to nurturing students in knowledge, skills, Christian values, and character. To our graduates, congratulations. Today marks an important milestone in your lives. As you leave this institution, remember that graduation is not the end of learning, but the beginning of a greater responsibility to serve God, the church, and our nation. The theme of this graduation, empowering our graduates for national transformation, innovation, skills, and integrity, is both timely and significant. Our country needs graduates who will not only possess knowledge and skills, but will use them with innovation, responsibility, and integrity. Wherever you go, let your character speak as loudly as your qualifications. Be people who are guided, be people who create solutions, provide leadership, and make a positive difference in society, guided by the principles in Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before them. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate our graduates, we must also look at the future of Scott Christian University. This university is an important part of the mission of the Africa Inland Church. For over 6 decades, it has contributed to Christian higher education and the development of leaders who serve our nation and beyond. We have a responsibility to ensure that it continues to grow and become even better. It is for this reason that I make a strong appeal for the Christian University Maker Fund Drive, whose target is 750 million. This is our university. This is our responsibility. This is our opportunity. I therefore call upon the Africa Inland Church family, our congregations, leaders, alumni, professionals, partners, parents, and friends of the university to support this initiative generously. Let us build Scott Christian University together. Let us invest in its infrastructure, technology, academic excellence, and future. Every contribution matters. When we support this university, we are investing in people. And when we invest in people, we are investing in the future of our nation. To our graduates, go forth with confidence, serve with humility, lead with integrity, and use your skills to transform your communities. May God bless you. May God bless Scott Christian University. May God bless the Africa Inland Church. And may God bless our dear country, Kenya. Congratulations to all graduates. Thank you all. Presiding Bishop, Africa Inland Church, Kenya, Bishop Mulwa. God bless you and thank you.
Our chief guest, allow me to take this opportunity now to welcome our chancellor to come and make his remarks. I am guided otherwise. Chief guest, allow me now take this opportunity to invite to the podium our PS for Education, Beatrice Muganda Nyangala, to make a speech and subsequently usher you to make your speech and address the congregation. Thank you so much.
Our chief guest, Honorable Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Coordination, the Chancellor, Reverend Professor Jacob Kibor, the Presiding Bishop, African Inland Church, Kenya, Bishop Abraham Mulwa, the Chairman and members of the Board of Trustees, the Chairman and members of the University Council, the Vice Chancellor, Reverend Professor Jonathan Mania, members of the University Management and Senate, members of the faculty and staff, graduates, parents, guardians, and sponsors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a great honor and privilege for me to join you today as we celebrate the 61st graduation ceremony of Scott Christian University. I bring you greetings from the government of Kenya, in particular from our Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Education, Honorable Julius Migos Ogamba. Let me begin by congratulating all our graduates. Congratulations, class of 2026. This is a significant milestone in your lives. It represents years of study, sacrifice, discipline, perseverance, and support from many people who believed in you. Let us also give a round of applause to our parents. I also wish to commend the University Council, management, faculty, and staff for their commitment to preparing you to contribute meaningfully to our society. Today, a university education cannot be measured only by the number of degrees awarded. Its true value is demonstrated by the capacity of you graduates to solve problems, create opportunities, innovate, lead responsibly, and improve the lives of others. Our chief guest, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our government recognizes universities as critical engines of national transformation. To meet the growing demand for university education is indeed a momentous responsibility. So as government, we appreciate the contribution of private and faith-based universities to the expansion of access to higher education in Kenya. Today, our universities are home to 670,000 students, hosted in 88 universities. 48 of those are public and 40 are private. Institutions such as Scott Christian University have therefore played an important role in providing education that is also grounded in values and service. The government remains committed to strengthening the higher education sector through policies and initiatives that promote quality, equity, innovation, and sustainable financing. In the current budget, the government has allocated 784.5 billion to education, nearly 30% of the total budget, in recognition of the importance of university education in national development. And I have assured Professor Mania that in this budget, there's money for Scott Christian University. And in fact, today, something will shake his account. But of course, we appreciate that the resources we require are too many. And as government, we cannot do this alone. I therefore urge all stakeholders to embrace higher education as a shared responsibility. universities, private sector, development partners, alumni, and communities must continuously work together to mobilize the resources that we require to deliver a globally competitive quality education. And towards this end, I want to commend Scott Christian University for the steps it has taken over the years to establish partnerships that have enabled it to strengthen its academic portfolio, research innovation, and the technical and vocational education initiatives. I particularly encourage the university not only to mainstream, but to actualize innovation as a key pillar in its strategic direction. We are expecting the graduates of the competency-based education in the university in the year 20, in 3 years' time. When is that? Are you awake? In 3 years' time, when is that? 2029. Good, good. So when we talk about innovation, we want to see innovation in the programs that are going to be mounted as the university grows. We want to see more engagement in programs that are going to help us develop graduates for the creative economy. We have a lot of opportunities in music, in drama, and I was very happy to see the teams that performed. This is definitely a university with a firm foundation for developing our lecturers that will then go on and teach in the creative industry. But also, there are opportunities for monetizing talent. So let's take this opportunity. Instead of replicating what everybody else is doing, let us grow that aspect of arts and sports science as a very unique niche. Of course, to add on the good things that you're doing. I also want to emphasize pedagogical innovation. This is the art and science of teaching and learning. We have to teach differently so that we get graduates with the competencies that we desire: collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, communication. For these are the graduates who will fit into a constantly evolving market. But as a university, we know that our main mission is to undertake innovative research that is going to generate the technologies and products that spur industrialization of our country. So Scott Christian University, I know you are up to it. Let's see your growth shaping in a manner that spurs the industrialization of our country. And as I conclude, our chief guest, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me once more thank the parents for their investments that have enabled our graduates to realize their dreams. To the university leadership and
the President to participate in this important celebration. However, owing to his conflicting engagements, he will not be joining us today. I commend the university for this continued contribution to the development of human capital and the advancement of education in our country. Mr. Vice Chancellor and the Chair of Council and the team, for me to be here is I consider it very historic. As a child growing up in this church, in the African Inland Church, I always heard about Scott Theological College. What was very important in Scott Theological College, that is before it became the university, is that it was the premier institution for the African Inland Church. And so during the camps, the youth camps, if you are lucky to have a pastor who had come from Scott Theological College, you would see even the other pastors were handling that pastor with a lot of care and a lot of appreciation. And so I always wanted in my life as an AIC member, I dreamed as a child that one day I must see where this Scott Theological College is. And so this today is a fulfillment of my childhood dream to be here. And so I consider myself very lucky. But I must say, Mr. Vice Chancellor, that when I entered the gate, this is not the school I dreamed of. I was welcomed by dust. And when we reached the end of the driveway, ready to be received to the Vice Chancellor office, I thought we were lost. So I asked my driver, have you really come to the right place? So you have a very huge reputation and a very big name. You are carrying the big name of Peter Scott Cameroon. However, mambo kwa ground ni tofauti. But also let me say something else, that this is not just something I wondered about. This is something I heard the president when he came back telling us when we met him after being in the graduation here. And so we are truly challenged as AIC members who are in leadership to walk with you the journey to transform this institution so that the face of the university matches the reputation of the institution. But also sitting here, I learned something, that it is not the buildings, it is not the structures, it's not the face of the institution that matters. It's actually the content of the students that graduate from here. And so if you look at someone like Professor Kibor, for example, I remember him, he came and preached to us. I think he had just finished his PhD. So he came and preached to us in a camp back home there, a place called Sambirir. He came with a lot of fire. So, and he transformed many lives. There are many pastors I know that have changed many lives. There are many leaders of the church that have made a great difference. Particularly, we have our own presiding Bishop Emeritus, among others. So really, while we are mourning and crying that the facilities are not too good, I am sure Bishop Yego, given a chance, is wondering what is the problem. Because that was the best of the best that he got in his time, and he made the best of it, and then came and transformed the rest of our country and the church. And therefore, it is important for the students who are sitting here to remember that You are the face of this institution. You carry a huge legacy of this institution that has grown from being a theological college to now a Christian university. I commend the university for its continued contribution to the development of human capital and the advancement of education in our country. To the graduates, congratulations. You have every reason to celebrate. To celebrate your hard work, perseverance, discipline, sacrifice, and determination, and the journey of hope. As you do so, also allow me to acknowledge the contribution of your parents, guardians, lecturers, mentors, and all those who supported you throughout your academic journey. The achievement we celebrate today is also a reflection of their selfless sacrifice, support, and belief in you. I was truly surprised, Dr. Nyangala, that you said you left school 32 years ago. You don't look like it. So I was also seated like them, graduating. And now that you've said yours, I'm very embarrassed to say mine, but I'll say so. That 22 years ago, I left the graduation square like them. And I feel their happiness, their joy, their excitement with the conclusion of this phase of life, having gone through different struggles, sometimes missing marks. I don't think in a Christian university is missing marks, but where I was, they were missing marks. Sometimes complicated research papers, sometimes disagreeing with your lecturers because you have a different view of your research paper than he has, and so forth. And having got to go through, but more importantly, some came here and they had to face various challenges. Some people had family problems, family members, some even lost their loved ones and still went through the journey to graduate. So there is a lot of joy when it comes to a graduation day because it's a completion of a phase of life. You've gone through difficult times. And I want to tell you, do not be discouraged. No one should really tell you that there is no hope out there. When I left school 22 years ago, I was the CU chair. So one of the things that I did, there was a sermon that I preached to the for those of us who are in Form 4. And I remember only one sentence from one paragraph of that was to tell them that, you see, when the children of Israel were going to Egypt, from Egypt going to Canaan, the truth is that all the spies who had gone ahead of them to Canaan, they came back with reports. 10 of them came with reports, and 2 of them also came with reports. But the reality is that all of them had true reports. There was no fake report. Even the 10 guys who came with report, they looked very truthful. They even called themselves truthful men because what they saw is exactly what they saw. You see, they saw giants, they saw Nephilims, they saw very difficult people, they saw a very complicated environment. Even Joshua and Caleb saw the same. The difference is that in their seeing, the lenses were different. Yeah, the 10 of them, when they were looking out there, they looked at the giants and they said they are great people. They are powerful people. They are occupying positions. They are occupying the land. But their perspective was different. They still saw it and said, even then, we will conquer. And the other 2, that is actually exactly what Joshua and Caleb saw. But the 10 saw it and said, we will not make it. They were hopeless and so forth. I am telling you, if you watch the news today, if you listen to naysayers out there, they will give you a lot of stories about how Kenya is hopeless, how the future of Kenya is hopeless, how there is nothing happening in Kenya, how there is no opportunities in Kenya. It's up to you to decide whether you will be the 10 spies or you will be Joshua and Caleb. Because if you don't change your perspective, you will go out here hopelessly And actually, truly, you will never get an opportunity because your mindset and your perspective is polluted by the messages you get by the prophets of doom who see nothing good about our country. So today, it is up to you. It's your choice. When I left school, there were great lawyers in Kenya. There were ministers, there were senators, there were big people. I didn't occupy Senate because it was empty. I didn't become a cabinet secretary because of an empty office. I did not become a lecturer in the university, which I did because it was empty. I did not become a legal practitioner because legal practice did have empty spaces waiting for me to occupy. No, it's because giants were here in these offices we occupy, but we displaced the giants and occupied those offices. So it is the perspective you have when you leave this graduation square. And I want to encourage you, always look for the positive news. Always look for the, how did you make it? Always listen to the people who have conquered. Don't listen to those who failed. Indeed, in my life, I struggle reading other books except biographies. I only read biographies and autobiographies to see how did these people make it? How did they succeed? How did they become who they became? So that I pump my head with a lot of stories of success. But if all the time I listen to haiwezekani hapo, hata ukianza biashara itaanguka, taxes ni mingi, hata lazima ulipe bribe ndio upate nafasi, hata sijui nini, utapotea. Utaona kwamba utakuwa unakaa nyumbani. And let me emphasize that point because I have campaigned. And when I used to go to different places in my county where I was a senator, you go to a place and you find a young person where people saying, kuna hawa vijana wako hapa hawana kazi, waziri senator ukipata nafasi enda waandika hawa kazi. Oh, sasa wewe ulisomea nini? Oh, nilisomea subject fulani, business nini? Umekuwa hapa nyumbani miaka ngapi? Hata nilisomea agriculture. Na wewe umekuwa nyumbani bila kazi nini? Miaka 10. Na hiyo miaka 10 umekuwa ukifanya nini? Nimekuwa nikikaa tu. Okay, na ile shamba ile shamba yenu ya nyumbani umeweza kulima? Nalima kidogo kidogo lakini haifiki mahali. Hii masomo yako ya agriculture umewahi tumia kwa hii shamba yenu? Niko tu nangojea kazi. But I have also been a senator and go to village where when you meet, people tell you, you get a very young, sharp person. He's telling you, nilisomea engineering, lakini bado sijapata kazi, lakini unajua I am volunteering doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And when you stand in a baraza, wananchi will tell you, mkipata nafasi, enda na huyo. Hata kama ni shamba yako, atakusaidia utapona, enda na huyo. So there is a difference between a person who has a positive perspective about life and a person who consumes messages and negative messages in the entire of their life. Let me finally emphasize that point. It is your choice also to watch news or to not to. I rarely watch news. University Council, the presiding bishop of African Inland Church, herein represented by the diaspora Bishop Mairori, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the University Senate and Management faculty and staff, our Bishop, AIC Presiding Bishop Emeritus, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. It is a great honor and privilege to join the Scott Christian University fraternity on this important occasion of the 61st graduation ceremony. I convey warm greetings from His Excellency the President and the best wishes from His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who was actually the one invited to speak in this occasion and whom I have the honor to represent because he would not make to be here this time round. I sincerely thank the University Council, management, faculty, and the entire Scott Christian University fraternity for inviting His Excellency the Deputy President to participate in this important celebration. However, owing to his conflicting engagements, he will not be joining us today. I commend the university for this continued contribution to the development of human capital and the advancement of education in our country. Mr. Vice Chancellor and the Chair of Council and the team, for me to be here is I consider it very historic. As a child growing up in this church, in the African Inland Church, I always heard about Scott Theological College. What was very important in Scott Theological College, that is before it became the university, is that it was the premier institution for the African Inland Church. And so during the camps, the youth camps, if you are lucky to have a pastor who had come from Scott Theological College, you would see even the other pastors were handling that pastor with a lot of care and a lot of appreciation. And so I always wanted in my life as an AIC member, I dreamed as a child that one day I must see where this Scott Theological College is. And so this today is a fulfillment of my childhood dream to be here. And so I consider myself very lucky. But I must say, Mr. Vice Chancellor, that when I entered the gate, this is not the school I dreamed of. I was welcomed by dust. And when we reached the end of the driveway, ready to be received to the Vice Chancellor office, I thought we were lost. So I asked my driver, have you really come to the right place? So you have a very huge reputation and a very big name. You are carrying the big name of Peter Scott Cameroon. However, mambo kwa ground ni tofauti. But also let me say something else, that this is not just something I wondered about. This is something I heard the president when he came back telling us when we met him after being in the graduation here. And so we are truly challenged as AIC members who are in leadership to walk with you the journey to transform this institution so that the face of the university matches the reputation of the institution. But also sitting here, I learned something, that it is not the buildings, it is not the structures, it's not the face of the institution that matters. It's actually the content of the students that graduate from here. And so if you look at someone like Professor Kibor, for example, I remember him, he came and preached to us. I think he had just finished his PhD. So he came and preached to us in a camp back home there, a place called Sambirir. He came with a lot of fire. So, and he transformed many lives. There are many pastors I know that have changed many lives. There are many leaders of the church that have made a great difference. Particularly, we have our own presiding Bishop Emeritus, among others. So really, while we are mourning and crying that the facilities are not too good, I am sure Bishop Yego, given a chance, is wondering what is the problem. Because that was the best of the best that he got in his time, and he made the best of it, and then came and transformed the rest of our country at the church. And therefore, it is important for the students who are sitting here to remember that you are the face of this institution. You carry a huge legacy of this institution that has grown from being a theological college to now a Christian university. I commend the university for its continued contribution to the development of human capital and the advancement of education in our country. To the graduates, congratulations. You have every reason to celebrate. To celebrate your hard work, perseverance, discipline, sacrifice, and determination, and the journey of hope. As you do so, also allow me to acknowledge the contribution of your parents, guardians, lecturers, mentors, and all those who supported you throughout your academic journey. The achievement we celebrate today is also a reflection of their selfless sacrifice, support, and belief in you. I was truly surprised, Dr. Nyangala, that you said you left school 32 years ago. You don't look like it. So I was also seated like them, graduating. And now that you've said yours, I'm very embarrassed to say mine, but I'll say so. That 22 years ago, I left the graduation square like them. And I feel their happiness, their joy, their excitement with the conclusion of this phase of life, having gone through different struggles, sometimes missing marks. I don't think in a Christian university is missing marks, but where I was, they were missing marks. Sometimes complicated research papers, sometimes disagreeing with your lecturers because you have a different view of your research paper than he has, and so forth. And having got to go through, but more importantly, some came here and they had to face various challenges. Some people had family problems, family members, some even lost their loved ones and still went through the journey to graduate. So there is a lot of joy when it comes to a graduation day because it's a completion of a phase of life. You've gone through difficult times. And I want to tell you, do not be discouraged. No one should really tell you that there is no hope out there. When I left school 22 years ago, I was the CU chair. So one of the things that I did, there was a sermon that I preached to the for those of us who are in Form 4. And I remember only one sentence from one paragraph of that was to tell them that, you see, when the children of Israel were going to Egypt, from Egypt going to Canaan, the truth is that all the spies who had gone ahead of them to Canaan, they came back with reports. 10 of them came with reports, and 2 of them also came with reports. But the reality is that all of them had true reports. There was no fake report. Even the 10 guys who came with report, they looked very truthful. They even called themselves truthful men because what they saw is exactly what they saw. You see, they saw giants, they saw Nephilims, they saw very difficult people, they saw a very complicated environment. Even Joshua and Caleb saw the same. The difference is that in their seeing, the lenses were different. Yeah, the 10 of them, when they were looking out there, they looked at the giants and they said they are great people. They are powerful people. They are occupying positions. They are occupying the land. But their perspective was different. They still saw it and said, even then, we will conquer. And the other 2, that is actually exactly what Joshua and Caleb saw. But the 10 saw it and said, we will not make it. They were hopeless and so forth. I am telling you, if you watch the news today, if you listen to naysayers out there, they will give you a lot of stories about how Kenya is hopeless, how the future of Kenya is hopeless, how there is nothing happening in Kenya, how there is no opportunities in Kenya. It's up to you to decide whether you will be the 10 spies or you will be Joshua and Caleb. Because if you don't change your perspective, you will go out here hopelessly. And actually, truly, you will never get an opportunity because your mindset and your perspective is polluted by the messages you get by the prophets of doom who see nothing good about our country. So today, It is up to you. It's your choice. When I left school, there were great lawyers in Kenya. There were ministers. There were senators. There were big people. I didn't occupy Senate because it was empty. I didn't become a cabinet secretary because of an empty office. I did not become a lecturer in the university, which I did because it was empty. I did not become a legal practitioner because legal practice did have empty spaces waiting for me to occupy. No, it's because giants were here in these offices we occupy, but we displaced the giants and occupied those offices. So it is the perspective you have when you leave this graduation square. And I want to encourage you, always look for the positive news. Always look for the, how did you make it? Always listen to the people who have conquered. Don't listen to those who failed. Indeed, in my life, I struggle reading other books except biographies. I only read biographies and autobiographies to see how did these people make it? How did they succeed? How did they become who they became? So that I pump my head with a lot of stories of success. But if all the time I listen to, haiwezekani hapo, hata ukianza biashara itaanguka, taxes ni mingi, hata lazima ulipe bribe ndio upate nafasi, hata sijui nini, utapotea. Utaona kwamba utakuwa unakaa nyumbani. And let me emphasize that point because I have campaigned. And when I used to go to different places in my county where I was a senator, you go to a place and you find a young person where people saying, kuna hawa vijana wako hapa hawana kazi, waziri senator ukipata nafasi enda waandike hawa kazi. Oh, sasa wewe ulisomea nini? Oh, nilisomea subject fulani, business nini? Umekuwa hapa nyumbani miaka ngapi? Hata nilisomea agriculture. Na wewe umekuwa nyumbani bila kazi nini? Miaka 10. Na hiyo miaka 10 umekuwa ukifanya nini? Nimekuwa nikikaa tu. Okay, na ile shamba ile shamba yenu ya nyumbani umeweza kulima? Nalima kidogo kidogo lakini haifiki mahali. Hii masomo yako ya agriculture umewahi tumia kwa hii shamba yenu? Niko tu nangojea kazi. But I have also been a senator and go to village where when you meet, people tell you, you get a very young, sharp person. He's telling you, nilisomea engineering, lakini bado sijapata kazi, lakini unajua I am volunteering doing this, I'm doing this, and doing this. And when you stand in a baraza, wananchi will tell you, mkipata nafasi, enda na huyo. Hata kama ni shamba yako, atakusaidia utapona, enda na huyo. So there is a difference between a person who has a positive perspective about life and a person who consumes messages and negative messages in the entire of their life. Let me finally emphasize that point. It is your choice also to watch news or to not to. I rarely watch news because there are people whom they appear on television, you just know they're about to say negative things. Yeah? Yet there are so many channels you are paid for. Better just go to another channel and watch. If you think Murkomen, when he appears in the news, he's always talking about negative things about country, there is no hope, there is no message, there is no whatever, why do you still continue watching me? You know? You better watch another person who is giving you content and things that are positive that are happening in your country. And that is exactly, but if you continue convoluting yourself with messages that are negative, I am telling you, the Bible says faith comes from hearing, and hearing the word of God. It doesn't say faith comes from hearing and hearing anything that happens out there. So if you want to have hope in life, you must hear the positive message that is out there. It looks like, what I'm telling you looks like stories, but I'm telling you the truth. I am telling you the truth. There will be days after this graduation, you wake up in the morning and you don't know where you are going. You don't have exact job. You drop CVs in different places. But if you keep doing and listening and talking to people who are positive, asking them, how did you go about this? Which other opportunities are there? Searching opportunities and doing so, you will succeed. And that's why it's important for you to never give up. Wake up the next morning thinking positively, the next day thinking positively until your opportunity is opened out there. Don't become a person who is whining and complaining. Graduation is not the end of education, as has been said. Rather, it marks the beginning of a greater responsibility in serving the nation, bringing on board human capital that our nation needs. Advancement in technology, including artificial intelligence, keeps on redefining how our society works, communicate, conduct business, undertake its research, as well as how government deliver its services. As such, new technology advancements call for new technology-driven solutions to the problems in our environs. I therefore encourage the graduates to focus on problem solving and value creation through the opportunities created by advancement in technology through contributing to betterment of our nation. Nobody capture that than Bishop Mairori, that you must always continue sharpening your axe. You better spend 1 week sharpening the axe so that you cut the tree in 1 day. Our country continues to confront challenges in job creation, entrepreneurship, the cost of doing business, healthcare, education, agriculture, technology, infrastructure, environmental sustainability, and public service delivery. Yet these challenges also present enormous opportunities for innovation, enterprise, and leadership. Bishop also told us when Joseph saw a drought as a challenge, and everybody knew that drought is a challenge, he didn't waste time, in diagnosis. Diagnosis is important to know what the challenge, but he also presented a solution. He told the Pharaoh that he needs to build the silos and start storing grains for future consumption. Ladies and gentlemen, academic qualification remain important, but qualification alone are no longer sufficient. The modern economy requires graduates who can translate knowledge into practical solutions. I therefore commend the university for expanding its academic programs and strengthening practical skills development. I am particularly pleased to learn that the university has established a fully registered technical and vocational education and training institute, which has already enrolled students. This complements the government's agenda of transformation of the informal economy through skills development, certification, and recognition. A nation cannot develop without technicians, artisans, engineers, innovators, entrepreneurs, ICT specialists, builders, agricultural experts, health workers, and other skilled professionals. And if you saw the presentation of Professor Hino during the launch of Beyond 2030 project, you saw how he emphasized the importance of education as a driver towards moving Kenya into first world country. Dear graduates, as you mark this important milestone, I encourage you to become ambassadors of hope, peace, unity, integrity, and responsible citizenship. Kenya needs a generation that believes in the power of peaceful coexistence, the rule of law, and the strength of our national institutions. As the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, I am acutely aware that a peaceful and secure Kenya cannot be built by government alone. Every citizen has a role to play. Therefore, as you leave this institution, reject the temptation to be drawn into division, violence, chaos, and anarchy. Reject anything that undermines our peace, destroys our infrastructure, or weakens our faith in the institutions that hold our nation together. Your education has equipped you not only with knowledge, but also with the responsibility to use knowledge for the good of our society. Take with you the hope, optimism, and the sense of purpose that we see here today. Carry that spirit into your communities, your workplaces, and wherever your journey takes you. Let your education become a force for building a more peaceful, prosperous, and united Kenya. Let me tell you this, we inherited a country from our forefathers and mothers because they worked together as a nation. Jomo Kenyatta, Paul Ngei, Odinga, and many others who were in the independent days. And they worked together to liberate our country. What is this thing about my community, my tribe? What is this certain madness of my people in a certain corner? What is this obsession with tribalism, with my person this, my shares this one, my shares this other one? Honestly, as a Christian university, here I believe you got the right values. The Bible in the book of Revelations talks about John the Baptist having seen in heaven people of different races, different denominations, different tribes living together, singing Hosanna, hallelujah. How then shall we say that we are a Christian country? We are a country that is governed by Christians. But every day we talk about my tribe, my community, my region, even in our churches, even in our schools, even in our universities, even in student leadership in universities today. There is a great shame that students mobilize themselves into leadership and campaign along this tribe, a coalition of this tribe against this other tribe. Just the other day when I was in school, I was elected as student leader when people who were Kalenjins in the college were less than 10. I wonder how we missed the direction that students now think about them being student leaders can only come if a coalition of tribes is going to be forged within schools and universities. Please, let's go back, like the Bible says, let's go back to our first love. Let's look for our foundation. Let's compete. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with elections. There's nothing wrong with competition. But this competition that is founded on lies, that is founded on making the country look like it's a useless place, that for you to rise to leadership, you must talk about negative things about your country. You must tell investors don't come to Kenya. You must propagate propaganda against the peace of our nation. Yet, how are you able to move around the country doing your campaigns and asking for votes and still want to say that Kenya is not safe? It's not a good place for people to come and invest. How shall we employ our students? That level of politics, the hygiene in our politics is lacking. And we have to do something to make sure that we restore the right leadership in the country, the perspective of leadership in the country, the campaigns in our nation. No matter whether someone is in opposition or is in the government, they must speak hope and opportunities in our country. We are competing with Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. I know that. And he's a member of this church. But I must give him a lot of credit that over the many years he has lived in the opposition, he has tried so much to remain national in his conversation and in his presentations. I wish the other opposition leaders would learn from Kalonzo Musyoka. Yeah? If for nothing else, he has tried to maintain his conversation to be national. He may have other challenges, but that is not one of them. And that's why I want to say, and maybe that is because of the foundation of AIC Church. I wish the other competitors would come to this church. Maybe they would learn something about nationalism, about having a national figure, speaking about the country as one united nation. I really pity the kind of politics I see now, where tribalism is being glorified and division is being glorified against the unity of our country. Scott Christian University was founded on Christian values and principles. I encourage you as an alumni of this institution to remain anchored in these values. Let the ethical leadership, integrity, compassion, innovative mindset, and commitment to community transformation cultivated here guide you, your decisions, and your everyday endeavors. I encourage the university to continue expanding its academic programs, strengthen research, embracing technology, invest in infrastructure, build strategic partnerships, and produce graduates who can compete and serve effectively in Kenya, Africa, and the global community. Scott should be having at least 2,000 students graduating every year, yeah, and so forth and so forth. And we can grow rapidly if we expand also our horizon, because this university needs to provide solution to many young people who need an education with Christian values. I encourage the university, as a government, we are investing in skills and human capital that will drive Kenya transformation. In just 3 years, we have recruited more than 100,000 teachers, delivered 23,000 classrooms, and are constructing 1,600 laboratories to support competence-based education. TVET enrollment has more than doubled to 718,000, giving hundreds of thousands of young Kenyans access to practical, industry-relevant skills. We are also reforming higher education financing, having introduced the student-centered, needs-based model. We are now moving towards universal government funding so that every qualified student admitted to a university or college can pursue higher education regardless of their family financial circumstances. This is our commitment that no Kenyan child should be denied opportunity because of the circumstance into which they were born. The Ministry of Interior and National Administration is in collaboration with the university and college administrations across the country through the local Ngao officers, security organs, and NACADA to combat cases of drugs and substance abuse, gender-based violence, and security of the students who are living in and off campus. I conclude with a simple challenge. Do not wait for Kenya to become the country you want. Become the generation that builds the Kenya you want. Take the lead in the Beyond Vision 2030 conversations that His Excellency the President launched this week. This is your country and this is your future. To the class of 2026, I congratulate you once again. Pongezi sana. Class of 26, congratulations once again. And may wisdom, courage, and humility and integrity be a guiding roadmap in your way to success. May God bless this great Christian university. May God bless the class of 2026. And may God bless the Republic of Kenya. And before I sit, let me just also say that since I have come, I have also realized that this graduating class is not too big. So I can also do something. Yeah. Naweza weka mawe, si ndio? Si namna hiyo. So, Bwana Vice Chancellor, I will leave you with 1 million shillings for their. Yeah.
You know who it is.
Them and their teachers to celebrate this great milestone. Number 2, I have been challenged. Yeah, I have been challenged. And so who is the student leader of the graduating class? Is got home. Anaitwa nani? Yeah. No, just wait. I will call you. Just come here. Just come here. Yeah. Okay. Number 2. I want to say that I have been challenged also to take up the responsibility of being part and parcel of those who will contribute to the support, the mega Arambe that is coming. I think Bishop Mairori earlier yesterday sent me the letter of invitation, and I will be joining you towards the supporting the programs and projects of this school during that very important fundraiser. I know that His Excellency the President promised the infrastructure, including the roads. I am also promising here that I will follow up the same to ensure that this compound looks different next time I come, and so that when I bring other villagers, you know, the AIC members in Marsabit, when they come to Scott here, they can see the university is a serious university. Thank you very much. You know, so we want to be part and parcel. I want to join His Excellency the President and the other AIC members who have been blessed to find ways of supporting the growth of this university. The last thing I'd like to say is that Our country is going to elections next year. So as you go home, please remember that elections will come and go. One of the things that the president said, which is profound this week, is that beyond 2030 vision cannot wait for elections, because no matter who is elected, the country must have a guiding star, a vision that helps us, enable us to dream big as a country. And even as we go to that elections, I want to encourage you, parents who are here, students, and all of us who are Kenyans, that let us support leaders who are engaging in peaceful elections, who are not hiring goons, who are not dealing with violence, who are not dividing the country along sectarian and tribal interests. Let us elect MCAs, senators, governors, MPs, and the president, because we are all thinking about the unity of our country. Any person you vote for presidency, or you vote for any other seat, vote for a person who is thinking about the unity of our country. That is extremely important. It is not easy to keep a country together. And as a ministry, our duty is to make sure that our country is safe. People will campaign everywhere, regardless of their political affiliations. I know some of my friends, or former friends, have been insulting me left, right, and center. But that does not mean that it's still my responsibility to ensure that their functions are safe and their meetings are very safe, because Kenyans deserve services not based on their person they are competing with or they are supporting in politically. And therefore, I want to ask all these elected politicians and those who are aspiring, even as they campaign this weekend in Homa Bay, in Nakuru, in other places, please make sure that when you go to your meeting, go peacefully. When a person has their meeting, allow them to do their meeting and finish and go. You come and do your meeting another day. Because there's no need to, if you do not have subscribed to a policy of one politician, why are you going to their meeting? And why are you organizing people to disrupt? Why don't you organize yours another day, so that Kenya can become peaceful? Someone sells their agenda, you go home. Another one sells his agenda, he goes home. And I want to assure you that we will deal with all those people who are mobilizing goons and violent people to come and disrupt meetings. The National Police Service is well instructed to make sure that meetings continue being peaceful, so that Kenyans can campaign in an environment that is peaceful. Lastly, I want to also encourage leaders who are aspiring to office. When you are selling your manifesto, also tell us what you did when you were in office. Don't also ask those who are office alone. Also put your CV on the table. Don't tell us, oh, the president has not achieved this and that, and you worked with the president for 2 years. Can you tell us in those 2 years you worked together, what did you achieve together with the president? Then the balance of 2 years, we will know what to do. We will explain to you what we did for those 2 years. So it is important that we don't allow politicians to go scot-free. I will accept someone who has come who is new, who has never held office. But anybody who has sat in office, you start with your CV. Nasema siku hii nilifanya hii, siku hii nilifanya hii, siku hii nilifanya hii, na nikipewa nafasi nitafanya hii. Lakini usikae kama mtu hujawahi kanyaka ofisi, unajifanya wewe ni sasa mtu mzuri sana mwenye hujawahi kanyaka ofisi. It's important that we hold politicians into account for everything they do, because even the Bible says when we go to heaven, we will be held into account for every talent that God gave us. And that is the direction we want to go as a nation. So, ule jamaa wangu wa hapa, leta hiyo sasa. Wapi hiyo student leader?
The conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Wewe unajua kupanga watu? How? Wewe unajua kupanga, ulipanga wapi na hujawa campaign?
You know.
So this is 1 million shillings to make sure that. Sawa. All the best and may God bless you. Asante sana.
Tutawapanga tu, msijali. Relax. Tutawapanga, msijali. Tutapanga tu, msijali. It's very risky for hii kikapu kukuja upande huo, lakini iko safe upande huu. So at this time, allow me now to call the DVC, Professor Daniel Barante, for the presentation of candidates. Professor Daniel Barante for the presentation of candidates.
Thank you so much. Our chief guest, CS Murkomen, PS, Dr. Inyangala, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the moment has come. The moment we have all been waiting for. Our chief guest, I have observed that our sugar levels have gone down a bit. I want to request that we all stand for 1 minute, and DJ will give us a small number as we celebrate what CS Murkomen has done to our students, right? Yes, DJ. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I said, this is the moment we have been waiting for. In the interest of time, we are going to do this very fast. And it is therefore my honor and a privilege to present to you candidates who have fulfilled all the requirements of the University Senate and are hereby recommended for the conferment of their respective degrees and award of diplomas and certificates. This is the order we shall follow. As your name is read out, kindly stand and remain standing until the last name in your particular program is read out. Then sit down, remain seated until all the names in your level are read out. That is masters, bachelors, diplomas, and certificates. I will then ask you to stand for the conferment by the Chancellor. You will then bow and take your seats, and I will request you to kindly remain quiet until the end of the ceremony. The order of presentation of candidates for the various conferment and awards is as follows: master's degree, bachelor's degree, diplomas, and certificates. I now call upon the deans of schools to present the candidates for the conferment of the master's degree of Scott Christian University in the following order: Dean, School of Theology and Social Sciences, Reverend Lumumba Wambua; Dean, School of Education and Business Studies, Dr. Charles Muli. Welcome, Dean.
Chancellor Sir, the following candidates have satisfied the School Board of Examiners, the Senate of Scott Christian University, for the conferment of the Master of Arts in Theology degree of Scott Christian University. Chebo Justin Kiprono. Kangwana Kennedy Mutuku. Lokala Philip Esignon. Loki Augustus Kivunge. Bidhi Alice Mukonyo. Peter Georgina Waeni.
Chancellor Sir, the following candidates have satisfied the School Board of Examiners and the Senate of the Scott Christian University for the conferment of the Master of Business Administration, the Master of Arts in Leadership and Management, the Master of Education degree of Scott Christian University, Master of Business Administration, Strategic Management, Okwemba Belinda Nyagasi. Master of Business Administration, Project Management, Pakire Elizabeth Keneya. Master of Arts in Leadership and Management, Fabiano Okio John Kerim. Kapala Salama Joram. Maingi Ann Kanini. Master of Education, Education Administration and Management, Muli Gladys Kanini.
All candidates for the conferment of the master's degree, please stand. I now invite the Chancellor to confer the degree. Welcome, sir.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and Statutes of Scott Christian University, I hereby confer upon you the master degree with all the privileges, rights, and responsibilities, and give you powers to read and to do all that appertains to this degree in the following disciplines: Master of Arts in Theology, Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Leadership and Management, Master of Education. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. You may now take your seats. I now call upon the deans of schools to present the candidates for the conferment of degrees of Scott Christian University in the following order: Dean, School of Theology and Social Sciences, Bachelor of Theology, Bachelor of Hospitality and Tourism Management, Bachelor of Arts in Community Development, Bachelor of Arts in Counseling Psychology, Dean, School of Education and Business Studies, a Bachelor of Education Arts, Bachelor of Business Information Technology, Bachelor of Information Communication Technology, Bachelor of Leadership and Management. Welcome, Dean.
Chancellor, sir, the following candidates have satisfied the School Board of Examiners and the Senate of Scott Christian University for the conferment of the degree of Scott Christian University in the following disciplines: Bachelor of Theology, First Class Honors, Kimanzi Fred Mutua, Kimbui Joseph Chalo, Kimoni Augustus Muoki, Makau Meshak Mumo, Munyao Wilson Musau, Musili Jeremiah Mutie, Musyoki Balak Ikovo, Mutegi Sharon Kawira, Mutulili Daniel Dambuki. Second Class Honors, Upper Division: Chemekuro Esmond Mutahi, Golicha Buyo Roba, Joseph Esther Zambi, Kaloki Deborah Gena, Kamande James Nganga, Katumu Alfred Chalo, Kigoma Stone Kivucho, Kiprop James, Kwemboi Malik, Jengo James Kitavi, Lokai David Moru, Manding Emmanuel Ruto, Maluku Sarah Molu Alkano Bonaya, Mulwa John Maingi, Munyoke Jackson Safari, Muteti Joseph Kativa, Mutula Dennis Mutie, Mwambui Cecilia Chinyavu, Naum Serem Chemutai, Dambuki Julius Chalo, Deto Nicholas Moya, Ngwele Sami Musau, Zioka Ruth Gene, Zoka Stefano Kimeng, Oyugi Martin Othiambo, Walusala Louis Makoha. Second class honors, lower division. Recha Keronoi Japheth. Saitoti Kipintoi Meshach Olempiris. Bachelor of Hospitality and Tourism Management. First class honors. Muchiri Mase Waitherero. Omina Elizabeth. Rapemo Robert Odero. Second class honors, upper division. Injete Sharon. Kangwana Naomi Gaki. Okech Elisha Ongombe. Second class honors, lower division. Muriuki Samuel Githinchi. Bachelor of Arts in Community Development. Second class honors, upper division. Keroroi Amos. Batha Elizabeth Mutave. Mutuko Florence Zilani. Wanyonyi Abiud Kuta. Bachelor of Arts in Counseling Psychology. Second class honors, upper division. Anyango Rendemta. Mitigo Vivian Cherop. Mutua Lucy Duku. Mutuku Esther Wavinya. Second class honors, lower division. Kitesia Brian Munyao.
Chancellor, sir, the following candidates have satisfied the School Board of Examiners and the Senate of the Scott Christian University for the conferment of the degree of Scott Christian University in the following discipline. Bachelor of Education Arts, First Class Honors, Cheruto Masi, Kilonzo Ann Mwende, Kipsang Boniface Kemboi, Makao Jacinda Ngusye, Mudhoni Kawera Teresa, Damba Mwangangi Zipora, Ocheng Esther Akinyi, Owino Peter, Second Class Honors Upper Division, Akoth Priska Kenyatta, Arega Faith Mbone, Bor Faith Chepkemoi, Chelagat Faith, Chemutai Miriam, Chebleting Ida Seurei, Joseph Simon Muia, Joy Chepto, Kawirwa Masi, Katanu Evelyn Katanu, Katenge Justus Mutunga, Kawira Mureithi L. Prudence, Kiambati Kawira Caroline, Kimanga Arnold Momanyi, Kioko Japheth Kidhusi, Kioko Judah Kasumbi, Kioko Veronica Kamante, Kisoi Angela Ndanu, Aengwe Sheila Bosbori, Mali Ellen Diti, Manya Bilali, Maruti Baraza Xavier, Matu Joy Mutanu, Muhimi Evans Kadanzu,